We can trace Arnolds' history back to around 1907, the early part of last century, but the most recent history was created in 1993 when there was a management buyout led by David Richardson of the residential surveying and commercial property divisions of Hockleys to form Arnolds in its current form. Since that time we've developed in private ownership and most recently we've moved to a prestigious head office which probably offers the most prominent estate agency position in Norwich. Many of the partners are members of the Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors. Our approach is driven by embracing that professionalism that comes out through a professional body and encompassing it with a very driven sales environment. We embrace new technology to be innovative in the way that we deal with the services, but above all we're committed to achieving the best results for our clients.
We did interview quite a number of agents and we dismissed every agent that started with a negative. Arnolds didn't. I had an interview. Arnolds suggested a strategy which has worked brilliantly because we sold very quickly.
We like to stand out from the others in being particularly professional and having high level of ethics, and also we are very approachable. All the partners are based in our head office in Norwich and are all available for any comments, any concerns that anyone may have. We also have very well respected staff base with people with a great deal of experience who actually take a lot of pride in their work.
It does feel like being part of a family, and I think that creates a very good working environment.
Everyone I work with is very, very good, very focused. Everyone's been working here for a long time, so they're very knowledgeable and able to offer a very good service to all of our clients. At Arnolds, the most important thing is giving the clients the best service that's possible.
Arnolds gave me good information about what I should and shouldn't do in the property to get it marketed properly. I would have no hesitation in recommending Arnolds to anyone at all.
We can value your building, we can sell your building, we can acquire a property for you, we can let it. We can also deal with the refurbishment through our building consultancy division and maximise the returns from any property investment.
I was just totally, utterly impressed. The strategy worked in that it actually met, the needs, which was to get it out to as many people as you could. And it did, and it worked. We needed to sell a property reasonably quickly. We'd found a property. We did interview quite a number of agents and we dismissed every agent that started with a negative. Arnolds didn't. I had an interview with Lee who suggested a strategy which has worked brilliantly because we sold very quickly.
Because Tom was looking to have the property sold quickly, it was important for us to get the price absolutely right, so that when it hit the marketplace we got the maximum reaction. It was quite difficult in respect because there were outbuildings, there's a large garden, it's quite an individual property with thatch, and the original build is 1650. The strategy was reality. The property needed to get to the marketplace, needed to get a good reaction. What Tom and I sat down and discussed was a strategy where we looked at different pricing levels, we looked at what level would give the property the reaction it needed. After a very short timescale, 28 viewings, and the statistics on the internet were very, very positive.
I was just totally, utterly impressed. I'm in there talking to Lee by phone. He said, "Oh, yeah, you're up the scale here, you're getting the highest response, all the good properties on the market, you're coming out on top." Somewhere up in the 5,000 mark. So when I put the phone down, I telephoned my wife who went berserk, you know how it is. But it was such a good indicator that the strategy worked and that whatever Arnold had planned, it actually met, the needs, which was to get it out to as many people as you could.
So from our point of view, selling a unique property like this within a very quick timescale is absolutely what we were looking for.
The property was sold before 20 days. We had no packing cases, we had no idea of moving so quickly. And I have to say, Arnolds gave me enthusiasm, determination, and a strategy, and it worked well. So the advice is interview agents. You're paying them to work. You interview them, and if you don't get the right result, go to another agent and find the right one.
Initially, we chose 5 estate agents based on the quality of the advertisements that I'd seen on the local paper. I needed to be able to determine each one by the answers they'd given to my questions. So I drew up a checklist, and at the end of the 5 visits, I then looked through the checklists and made that decision.
I took a phone call from the owner, Tony, when he rang to book the valuation for the property. I knew where the property was immediately. I'd sold a couple of other houses in this road in the last few years, so we were able to have a very cordial conversation from the outset. I did lots of research for the owners before I came, brought comparable evidence, was able to show them the price trends for the property over the last few years, which has been incredibly important because of the market fluctuations. The first thing I did was to come down here. This is the reason why people buy properties in Broughton, Norfolk. They want to buy a property where they can moor their boat, they want to be next to the river if they can possibly afford it.
Ian knew a lot about the property movements in this particular area. I'd lived here 13 years and he knew things that I didn't know, so that quite impressed me really. The other thing that made me decide about Arnolds was that I noticed in the paperwork that Ian left me that there was a reference to ISO 9000, and Arnolds have got BSI approval, which represents a significant investment in customer satisfaction.
We had a very successful first visit. I got on extremely well with Tony and Linda. I rang him back the next day with a valuation figure. We seem to be on the same wavelength on that. There've been a wide diversity of prices given, as you'd expect with 5 agents. And I was delighted to get a phone call a couple of days later to say that I got the instruction to sell it. I was able to pick the phone up to 2 potential buyers who arranged to view it immediately. Somebody actually drove down from Yorkshire the next day to view it. It wasn't suitable for either of those, but within probably about 12 days we had a sale agreed very close to my recommended asking price.
I was impressed with Ian. I was impressed with the staff in the office. The whole thing has been very, very positive indeed. I would say shop around. Make sure that you choose the right agent. Ask them about things like how often are the advertisements going to appear in the paper. Ask them about the feedback that they get from visits. Arnolds gave me good information about what I should and shouldn't do in the property to get it marketed properly. I would have no hesitation in recommending Arnolds to anyone at all.